Or like you never said sound.
Okay, start now, man.
I got bad news.
What?
Start now.
I got crabs.
Start now.
Alright. I'm gonna tell a little story about family. So this family walks into a talent agency. There's a mother, there's a father, there's about a 14-year-old son, a 7-year-old daughter, a baby, and their new adopted son, the motherfucking pistol. So, talent agent takes one look at them. He says, "What are you guys doing here?" And the father says, "Well, we got a little act, and we want to get hired in gigs. You know, regular stuff." And he's like, "Well, what do you do?" And the father says, "Just watch." So they climb up on stage. There's a big audience, and the pistol looks out in the front row, and there's about 20 women lined up. He thinks to himself, he says, "Man, that one's really hot, but is she too hot? Oh, what am I thinking? I scored 24 points last night." So then he yells at her, he says, "You, here, now, I'ma start thrusting." She comes down and she lies on her back right in front of him, and he says, "What the fuck do you think you're doing? We're having anal." And she says, Can't we just do it up the pussy?" He didn't like this much. He says, "Can't we just do it up the pussy? We're having it my fucking way." So anyway, the father sees the pistol over there and he says, "Man, he's gonna jeopardize our act." So he comes and he starts fisting the pistol's throat right until he dies. And he's now motionless on the stage. And this little wiener named Amos is in the audience. So he sees the motionless body of the pistol. And anyway, he's been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. Who is it?
Just keep going.
Okay. He's been waiting for this opportunity a long time. And so anyway, Amos comes, he sees the pistol lying there, and he just starts sucking him off. Because, I don't know, if you knew them, you know the relationship there. It's kind of tense. So anyway, it continues. The father rips off all the mother's clothes and gets some of her pubes, and she starts bleeding everywhere. Not bleeding everywhere, just a slight bleeding, I guess. He then rips off all the daughter's clothes and he starts fucking her in the ass. Just giving her. And he realizes this isn't doing much for me, right? Because, you know, she's very little, she's very skinny, she's about 7. So he makes a small incision underneath of her belly button.
Ew.
So it can go all the way through. And this is much more pleasurable for him. And if, you know, the son, he's a really nice son, he says, "What can I do to make this more enjoyable for my dad?" He takes off all his clothes and he starts sucking on the end of the penis. It's coming through his daughter now. Or I guess it would be his sister, sorry. So anyway, so they're having a good old time. The mother bends down. She lubricates her arm right up with glass, or with super glue, and puts glass all over it. And she just starts fisting the boy's asshole. Just fisting the boy's asshole. He starts bleeding and shitting everywhere. This is just a flowing river of shit. This shit's going all over the floor. All over the mother. Just all over. It will not stop. She realizes that she lost a contact lens. So the whole family stops what they're doing. They're like, "We gotta help her find her contact lens." So anyway, the whole family, the boys anyway, take their wieners and they put their thumb over top of it a little bit. They start pissing and kind of like a pressure washer, just washing the shit everywhere. They're slipping in and out, they're like cracking their heads open, they're bleeding into it, they're vomiting. They start making it with each other. They vomit again because it's really offensive to be making it with your family. This is really turning on the father, and he had already been going at his daughter for a while, so he jizzes in it, and mother finally finds her contact lens, so she puts it back in her eye, and she's now got like a shitty, pissy, vomity, bloody, jizzy eye now. So anyway, the father, he says, "Oh, where's my head?" You know, the baby's being left out of this. So
Hey, man, I'm gonna cut it short because I'm not sure how much time it goes for.
That's fine. I'll cut it short right soon. So he starts fucking the baby in the ass until it starts going motionless, and he's like, "How can I make it come back to life, you know? Maybe I'll put it back in the comfort of the womb." So he sticks it back, head first up inside the mother. It starts kind of screaming a little bit, just wobbling a little bit, so he starts fucking in the ass again, till it's completely blue and it's dead, and he's like, well, we got no use for this baby anymore. So they fucking throw it up against the wall, head explodes, the family starts eating the brains. They got brains stuck in their teeth, so they can take the skull and shard the skull and they start picking their teeth out with it, just having a good old time. Anyway, the father, he wants to be the star of the show, so he goes over to the talent agent's desk and he just slams his cock in the drawer and flattens it right out, and he starts flicking his family in the face with it, and he pops the boy's eye out, and he sees this as an opportunity, so he starts fucking the boy's eye socket. The boy's now cockeyed. Anyway, the mother has a hemorrhoid that popped. Anyway, father's got a boil, pops it, sticks it on the end of his nose. He says, ta-da. The talent agent takes one look at him and he says, Jesus, that's quite an act. What do you call it? Father says, the aristocrats.